Here's a segment from the latest edition of St. Charles Parish Today, a monthly local talk show.
In a recent memo, it was announced the National Flood Insurance Program would begin offering preferred risk policies to residents living in an A99 flood zone. But let's be honest, how many of us understand what that means? I've asked the parish's planning administrator and flood insurance guru, Earl Mathern, to explain what this change means and who's affected. Okay, Earl, we brought you on today to talk about some flood insurance news that's hitting us on October 1st, I believe.
That is correct.
So let's start with the first thing, because it's kind of complex for somebody who doesn't really understand the way that flood insurance works.
Okay.
What is a preferred risk policy?
Okay, a preferred risk policy for most people is what most people think about when they talk about the X zone. The X zone is the best rate, meaning you have the lowest risk of flooding, and that's true not only here in St. Charles, but that's true nationally. And when people talk about flood insurance and they talk about the X zone, they talk about that, quote, cheap insurance. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, in the X zone, it's actually not just the X zone rate that gets you that $400 to $500 flood insurance. It's actually what's called the PRP, meaning preferred risk policy, meaning that not only are you in an X zone, but there are some other conditions to the house that you own that prove that
qualify for this.
That qualify for it, meaning you're at the lowest risk. Therefore, you pay the lowest in the insurance. PRP is something that's available to up till recently. It was only available to houses in an X zone, but with this change coming on October 1st, they've extended that availability to the A99. A99 is fairly rare. It is a transition zone, meaning it's transitioning from a special flood hazard area to an X zone, which is still a flood zone, but is considered a, quote, non-special flood hazard area. Right. It's very rare. Most of the country, it doesn't make much difference at all. But here in St. Charles, we have a great number of people who are actually in A99.
And we'll get to who those people are in a
second. We will, okay.
Okay, so let's talk about the change.
Okay.
What was it that changed?
It's quite simply a change in decision at the national level on the availability of that PRP in the A99. It's not a map change, which is what a lot of folks think it is. Mostly because we've been waiting for a map change.
Correct. We are waiting for that. But
we are. But this is just change in the availability. It came from DC. It came from the National Flood Insurance Program headquarters. Mm-hmm. It is something we've asked for a long time because we've had A99 for so long. And in all other aspects, A99 is treated like an X. The elevation requirements are local, the same as an X. Everything.
So they're finally getting to have.
Now they're finally getting the break on the cost. Yeah, and that's really the only thing that changes the cost.
Who in the parish, and I know you can't answer exactly like which towns and stuff, and we'll have a graphic later, but who in the parish does this predominantly affect? Who is in the A99 zone?
Okay, first of all, it is only the East Bank that this affects at all. To answer some questions I've got, no, it doesn't affect the West Bank at all. No, it doesn't affect any other flood zones, just A99. Basically, the A99 in St. Charles is on the East Bank, and it's sort of a swath right through about halfway between River Road and Airline Highway. Okay, and it covers a great deal of St. Rose, a great deal of the residents in St. Rose. Right through the center of Destrehan, nearly all of Ormond, all of New Sarpy, and then another stripe right through the middle of Norco. And most folks who are A99 know they're A99 by the price of their flood insurance right now today. So.
Okay, so these people that are in A99, where are we directing them to go? Because I've heard some confusion when we said that flood insurance agents, and some people are saying their agents aren't recognizing this change is happening. What are we telling them to do? Okay,
the way the change came down from Washington, it is strictly geared that the only people who can help you in this is your actual agent. Okay. In fact, we've heard some stories already that even folks who, in some cases, deal directly with NFIP, with the National Flood Insurance Program, even some of those folks don't even know what's happening yet. The memo's been disseminated since March, but word is just starting to trickle down to the people who actually need to do it. Now, the changes in the computer that make this possible, they're done. They finished their work. We've had people check. But like I said, in this case, the memo strictly gears it towards your flood insurance agent, which is a little different because I'm usually telling people to call me.
Right, yeah. So we're telling them to call their agent.
Call their agent, and if their agent doesn't understand it or doesn't know about it, have their agent call me, because that way I can work through the entire thing with the agent and show them where the changes are.
And also to, Earl actually gave me this, for those of you out there, this document, this memo that FEMA changed this in, and it is available on our website. So it is there if an agent wants to go and download it. But is there anything else that people need to know going into this?
The big thing, though, with this change is that they need to remember that this is a temporary change, okay? The one thing about the A99 that we know absolutely is that it was designed to be temporary.
You said it was a transitional.
It is a transitional zone, meaning from having no flood protection to having flood protection. It's that spot in the middle where you can stop building, 8 foot in the air, but your flood insurance doesn't, it's still required, I guess is the way it works. Mm-hmm. But the one thing we do know absolutely positively about the new maps we're getting is that A99 is going away. It's going away completely. There will be no A99s on the new map. They will be replaced with new flood zones. We've been working for years trying to prove to FEMA that some of the flood zones that they are proposing, both East and West Bank, are simply wrong. And it's not really because they didn't do a good job at it, but because they can't look as closely at our maps as we can.
Correct. That makes sense.
Being a national organization, they're looking at St. Charles Parish from 10,000 feet, whereas the data we're giving them is from the ground level. Okay, it's quite literally from the ground level. We've got people measuring the elevations. So we know that map's going to change, and our goal now is to keep as many people as we possibly can with that preferred risk. And what that means is getting those areas to be X zone. And that becomes a permanent situation, or at least as permanent as anything is in the National Flood Insurance Program.
That's real.
It is.
So basically this is a temporary change, but we're advising you to take advantage of it.
It is. It's got some advantages long term. Obviously short term, either right now or upon renewal, which I don't know exactly how that works, like when it kicks in. That's between you and your insurance agent. Mm-hmm. But upon renewal, you'll get a huge break. And because of some changes in the Affordability Act from 2015, the homeowners
HFIAA.
Yeah. Because of changes there, even when or if your policy changes back to a flood zone, it won't instantly go up. Okay.
Okay, good.
First of all, if you've got a PRP and it changes, you get to keep that for 2 more years automatically, even after even after it changes. And then from there, it rises up to, I think, 18% a year till it gets to whatever the prescribed rate at the time is. Now, those rates are changing so fast, I can't really tell you what they're going to be. And besides that, between now and then, the National Flood Insurance Program does have a new reauthorization. Okay, it expires in 2017. There'll be a new reauthorization, and so those rates will be completely restructured. So we don't know exactly what they'll be, but we do know you can drop it down right now, and that it will creep back up on you if the map changes to your disadvantage.
Well, look, I want to thank you for coming on the show today.
Of course.
I mean, this is always something that we want to hear more about, and it's kind of complex, so it's good that we have you to come on.
Well, I appreciate it because I don't get to give good news in the National Flood Insurance.
It's true. We rarely have good flood insurance.
I'm usually
news.
just here telling people, yes, your insurance is going higher.
Well, good. So we'll encourage these agents to give you a call if they don't understand it, but if not, call your flood insurance agent. That's what our message is.
That'll be great.
All right.
All right.
Look for the entire episode at www.scptoday.com or on SCP TV.